Hey guys, so for this video, I'm gonna talk about some tips to help you edit faster in Fortnite. This is a topic I've wanted to cover for a while now, but after seeing a ton of different creators make similar videos, I decided I should probably wait. That was until a few days ago when Raider464 made an improvement guide of his own based on his personal progression. By the way, if you don't know who Raider464 is, the man is by far the fastest editor in the game. Anyways, after I watched his video, I was instantly inspired to add on to it and to include some stuff I felt he left out. These include specific settings he overlooked, such as confirm edit on release, as well as new and unique ways to practice on your own. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. Starting off, I'll quickly summarize the tips Raider covered that I've also shown on my channel in the past. The first is to minimize your crosshair movement. Unlike your crosshair placement, which I'll cover in a minute, your crosshair movement is how far your crosshair travels when completing an edit. As a fast editor, you want your crosshair movement to be as small as possible. The smaller the movement is, the quicker you'll be able to select all the tiles, and the faster you'll be able to complete the entire edit. You do not, and I repeat, do not want your crosshair movement to be big like this. Not only is that way slower compared to minimizing your crosshair movement using a pivot point, but it will also make you more likely to select a tile you didn't want to and mess up the edit. Second tip is to instantly select the first tile of your edit after you enter edit mode. Way too many slow editors make the mistake of only selecting the edit tile once they fully see it. They will literally press their edit key, wait for the full blue build piece to pop up, and then click on the edit tile they want. What they don't realize though is the time they spend waiting is slowing them down. They should be selecting the initial edit tile right after they click their edit button. That way there's no extra time spent doing nothing, and one tile edits have no delay like this. Third tip is what I mentioned before, to optimize your crosshair placement. Whenever you're about to make an edit, you always want your crosshair to be lined up on the first edit tile you're going to select. This will not only reduce the delay between entering edit mode and selecting the initial edit tile, but will also help you perform consecutive edits in a row. The worst thing you can do is start an edit when your crosshair is on the complete opposite side of the build. In theory, this shouldn't really matter since you're going to move your crosshair the same distance regardless of where it's been pre-positioned. However, starting an edit with unoptimal crosshair placement makes it much more likely you'll select tiles you don't want to, and makes the whole entire edit slower since you're not using the second tip by instantly selecting the first tile. That's also why you want to start slowly, flick your crosshair fast to the optimal edit tile, and then repeat the process until you get the whole thing down. Fourth and final tip, which will lead into the next topic of discussion, is to instantly confirm the edit once you've selected the final tile. This is basically the opposite of the second tip. Just as there should be no delay in selecting the first tile, there should be no delay in completing the edit after the last tile. Any type of delay will slow you down unless you're purposely waiting to confirm the edit. Raider recommends practicing and getting the muscle memory down for hitting your edit key after you select all the tiles, but that's where I disagree. What I advise you do instead is turn on confirm edit on release. As I'm sure you guys all know, I love confirm edit on release. I asked for it in Season X, I started using it since the beginning, and I've been trying to get all of you guys to use it as well. I actually remember when I originally told everyone to use it, a bunch of people told me I was wrong. They said edit on release was delayed, and that because Mongrel switched off of it, that it wasn't good. Well, as of Chapter 2 Season 2, a majority of top tier pros currently use edit on release. Booga does, Stretch does, Zayt and Saf do, even my arch nemesis Zexro does. And before I explain why, let me quickly explain how it works for those of you guys who don't use it. All confirm edit on release does is change how you confirm your edits. Rather than doing what Raider does by pressing his edit key after selecting the last tile, or I guess in his case, he hits his second edit key since he uses double edit binds, with confirm edit on release, all you do is stop pressing your select button, aka take your finger off your left click on mouse or right bumper on controller, and your edit will go through. In terms of pros and cons, I personally think there's way more benefits of using confirm edit on release than not. To start, it's faster than using one edit keybind with confirm edit on release off. This has been proven by tons of people, including Raider464, and it makes sense considering how much slower it is to hit one key twice compared to only hitting it once. And speaking of having to hit less buttons, it's also more optimal since you're only hitting 2 keys, your edit and select buttons, compared to hitting 3 keys, which are your edit button twice and select button once. Next benefit, which is kind of a weird one, is that you don't need to swap to double edit binds. Double edit binds are in fact faster, but the difference is so small that there's really no point in switching if you're on keyboard and mouse. Plus, since you need to use a mouse side button to effectively use double edit binds, you instead can use that mouse side button for something much more important like a build bind. Last and most overlooked benefit is confirm edit on release will improve your movement, your building, and overall gameplay. Just think about what happens to your fingers finger when you go to edit. For those of you that edit with your index finger, you have to take it off your D key, meaning you can no longer move right. With confirm edit on release, you can move your index finger back to your movement key after you press your edit button because you only have to hit your edit key once. You don't need to keep it there and press your edit key again to confirm the edit. On top of that, if you need to hit a different key immediately following the edit, you can. For example, if you want to build right after the edit, you can move your index finger to whatever build you may have on it, like I have my floor key on F, or if you want to pull out your weapon during the edit, you can move your index finger to whichever key it's on, like I have my shotgun bind on the number 3. There's so many different examples and options you have for keybinds to press following an edit. All that would not be possible if you were forced to hit your edit key 2 times without confirm edit on release. Alright, what about the negatives though? The biggest is that you cannot hold an edit while also moving your crosshair off these specific edit tiles. That does not mean you can't hold edits. You could still hold them by just holding down your left click or right bumper. All it means is you have to keep your crosshair on one of the tiles you selected or else it will not go through. Another negative is that you aren't able to edit and re-edit structures like you can with confirm edit on release off. Say I'm in a box with someone and edit the ramp in half without confirming it, I am not able to re-edit it unless I completely let go and start over. Lastly, because you have to let go of your left click to confirm the edit, you cannot do Mongrel Classics the same way as you could before. With confirm edit on release off, you make the edit, keep holding left click, and the ramp will place as soon as you press your edit key to confirm it. With confirm edit on release, you have to make the edit, let go of left click, and then hit left click again to place the ramp in your opponent's box. This is not really slower, especially if you place your ramp with your index finger, but it is slightly different and will take some getting used to. Now, to address the elephant in the room, the reason most people did not switch at the beginning is that they thought there was a delay. I don't really blame them because it can feel that way when you first switch over. The truth, however, is that there is no delay and there has never been a delay. Once you stop selecting the tile with confirm edit on release, the edit will instantly confirm faster than you can click your edit button once more. And if you don't believe me, a Reddit user named Max Sartner proved this to be true. What he did was he set up different macros to show how fast a robot can potentially edit in Fortnite, as well as how fast a human with perfect timing and the highest possible skill level can edit. He found that confirm edit on release is consistent, it's just your ping and your ability to edit properly is not. As he goes on to explain, there's two main reasons edit on release can feel delayed when you're not used to it. The first is because anytime you perform more than one edit in a row, you have to wait until you physically release your mouse click or right bumper, which is the same button you'll use to select the next set of tiles to edit again. That means when most people mess up, it's due to the fact they're going too fast and pressing their edit key a second time before they stop selecting the last edit tile. Then the other reason is that the time it takes to send a signal to the server your select key has been released is higher than when it sends one that it has been pressed. This should really only become a problem when your button travel distance is not as short as the one on your mouse click, which is most likely the reason why people on controller do not like confirm edit on release. Oh, and before I forget, high ping will also affect how long it takes for the server to respond, in which case the delay is from the server and your high ping, not from the confirm edit on release option itself. Anyways, to finish the video, I'll talk a little about some ways you can practice your editing as well as get used to confirm edit on release. My personal favorite way is to grind out edit courses like Raider 464s or Fleas, but to do it without a crosshair. Yes, you heard that correctly, do it after turning your crosshair off in the heads up display. What this does is it helps you train your crosshair placement and build muscle memory for it faster. That way when you're in game, you're not going to be staring at your crosshair and thinking about where it should be, it will just automatically be in the right spot. An interesting thing Raider 464 actually does to practice is he'll divide his sensitivity by 2 or 3 and then go free build for 10 minutes. The reason for this is that it functions as speed training. By grinding for a few minutes on a lower sense, you're gonna have a much easier time editing fast when you go back to your real sense. This is the same reason why baseball players will warm up their swing with weights and multiple bats before they get up to hit. They're just briefly practicing with something much heavier and slower, that way they'll feel much more in control and faster with what they're used to. Second to last way, which is specifically for confirm edit on release, is to take off your headset and practice with no sound. The biggest problem people face when getting used to confirm edit on release is not hitting their edit key twice. They're so used to confirm edit on release off that they end up messing up because they keep repeatedly hitting their edit key. With your headset off though, you can listen to yourself only hit it once and get used to practicing with it fast. Final way I recommend to improve your edit speed is to sit in creative and edit on a wall. Not a full out edit course or a bunch of builds put together, just one single wall, practicing different edits from different angles. Editing on one wall is essentially your foundation for practice and the most basic basic possible training you can do. Obviously, you'll want to move on to other stuff after that, but it's important you start here with something quick and simple. Overall guys, that's everything you need to know to edit faster in Fortnite. It's honestly a combination of working hard and smart, so as long as you grind and follow my tips, there's no reason you cannot become a faster editor on console, PC, mobile, or Switch. So if you enjoyed this video or you learned something new, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jarian. Please remember my code is Jarian, not it's Jarian. Some weirdo is using that and impersonating me. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.